Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything from video games to comic books and everything in between. I hope that you're doing well today. This is Season 3, Episode 21, the top 10 video games from the 2000s. And this is just my personal opinion, so feel free to disagree with me. Now, this isn't going to be a normal top 10 list. I'm going to be placing number 1 being my favorite game released in the year 2000, number 5 being my favorite released in 2004, etc., etc., and number 10 being from 2009. So this is different. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. It's just my favorite game from each year. Now, with that being said, I would like to say if you enjoy this sort of content and are new, please subscribe and share this with your friends. And I post these on YouTube, so in the description I will leave links for my social media profiles as well as my merch store and my Patreon page. And for a limited time, I'm doing a free trial, 1 week free trial on Patreon for the second tier, and that way you get a slew of benefits. And after the 7 days are up, if you want to make a one-time donation or be a monthly subscriber, feel free to do so. Otherwise you can just unsubscribe and move on with your life. But regardless of what you choose, I am grateful. So let's get into this episode. So my favorite game released in the year 2000 is Spider-Man on the original PlayStation. Now, I haven't played it on the original PlayStation. I played an emulator, but it was a really fun game. And that's why I have it at number 1, although just my favorite game from the year 2000. Then my favorite game from 2001 is Halo Combat Evolved. Now, I remember playing this on my Xbox back in the day, and it was a blast. It is such a really good game. And, not much else to say other than it's metal as fuck. Then at the spot for 2002, my favorite game is The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Now, I've been replaying this game, and boy, oh boy, it is so good. The graphics aren't as good as something you get today, obviously. It was released in 2002, and as I record this, it is 2025, so that's over 20 years, man. But it is such a good game. Mechanically, visually, musically, everything about it is top-notch. Then my favorite game for 2003 is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This is a banger of a game. It really takes a lot of creative freedom, as it is really setting the stage of what this era of Star Wars is about. They would later make comic books and novels set in this time frame, but this was really the first time that they delved into the Old Republic, and by that I mean thousands of years before the original trilogy. Technically, if you're going off of the films, then the prequels are the Old Republic era, but that's the waning hours of it. But it's just a really fun game. You get to choose different classes. You can be a Jedi, you can be a Sith, you can be a soldier, you can be a bounty hunter. It's awesome. Then at the slot for 2004, we have Red Dead Revolver. This is the precursor for Red Dead Redemption, which redefined the cowboy genre in video games. But Red Dead Revolver is just a great game. Then for 2005, my favorite game is God of War. Again, I remember playing this back in the day and loving it. And I haven't played all of its sequels, but I really enjoy this series. Then for 2006, we have Wii Sports. I figured since this was such a cultural phenomenon when I was a kid, like I was 7 years old in 2006, and I remember how big the Nintendo Wii was, and Wii Sports was like the game that kicked off that console, and it was just a really fun game. I remember playing tennis and golf and bowling and boxing and all the other fun sports that you can play on that, and it was just a grand old time. Then for 2007, my favorite video game releasing that year was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. This really took Call of Duty to the next level because Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3 were set during the Second World War. Those games were really fun. I loved playing those games, but COD 4 brought it into the modern world, and it just blew everyone's mind. That's why I have to have it on this list. Then for the following year, 2008, my favorite game releasing that year is Grand Theft Auto 4. Again, really redefined the series in terms of storytelling and mechanics. It's just a really, really good game. Then for the end of the decade, 2009, my favorite video game released that year was Batman Arkham Asylum. Holy moly, was that such a good game. I've been replaying it recently, and I just can't get over how good it is. And, the sequels, improved upon the mechanics, but the atmosphere, the story, the art direction, the gameplay was so, so good. And to wrap up, I want to have some honorable mentions. Now, I haven't played all of the Sims games, but the original Sims from 2000, I played a bit, but it was really fun. Then for 2001, I have NFL Blitz 2002, which was a really fun game. I'm not really into sports games, but I like to play sports, and I have enjoyed playing video games based on sports. But, NFL Blitz and Wii Sports are really the best in my opinion. But I just had to put Halo in the spot for 2001. Then for 2002, as an honorable mention, I have Mafia. Again, great gangster game, and it's really fun, but I gotta put Elder Scrolls 3 over it, because Morrowind was such a good game. Then for 2003, I would have had Call of Duty, but I wanted to have one game per franchise, and Call of Duty 4 is just slightly better. Just slightly. That's why I had to have that game on here. And again, I really love Knights of the Old Republic, so that's why it's in the 2003 slot. And for 2004, I would have had Rome Total War. Again, great game, but Red Dead Revolver just beat it ever so slightly. Then for 2005, this was a tough one because I really loved this honorable mention, but God of War just had to take its place for being such a cultural touchstone. And I would have had The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction if not for God of War. The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction was a really, really fun game. It took the Hulk mechanics from the 2003 movie tie-in game and just improved upon it and really took it to the next level. And it was just a fun game. Then for 2006, I would have had Saints Row. It's a Grand Theft Auto clone, but it had its own unique story and mechanics. But I just preferred Wii Sports. But Wii Sports was also just a mega powerhouse in terms of sales. Then for 2007, if it wasn't for COD 4, I would have put Assassin's Creed on that slot. But again, COD 4 beat it out. But Assassin's Creed was such a good game, man. And I love the setting of the Holy Land in the Third Crusade. And I love the story, the gameplay, and the art direction was really, really cool. It's just Call of Duty 4, man. Then for 2008, I would have put Fallout 3. on there, but again, I think GTA 4 was just slightly better. But Fallout 3 was my introduction to the Fallout series. I've since gone back and played the first 2 games, and I played, New Vegas and 4. And I love New Vegas. 4 I have mixed feelings on, but it's still decent. But Fallout 3 will always hold a special place in my heart, and Fallout 1 and 2, top tier gaming from the 90s, but we're talking about the 2000s here. And finally, for 2009, I would have had Infamous. It's another superhero game, but it's its own unique story, not based on anything in particular, but Batman had to beat him out because Batman was such a fucking good game, man. But Infamous was really, really good. And that is all I have for you today in this episode of the National Timely Action Hour podcast. Once again, my name is Aidan. Thank you so much for listening, and I sincerely hope that you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.